Hi, my name is Munisola Adidayo. Welcome to Emotional Intelligence 101. This is the second video in the series. The objective of the session remains 1. To fast-track your knowledge of emotional intelligence. 2. To give you tips on how to build your emotional intelligence. In the last video, we talked about emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? We talked about what is emotional incompetence, and we also discussed the issue of emotional contagion. If you're yet to watch that video, I want to encourage you to visit our YouTube channel and view it. To all of you who did your assignments from the last video, I say, well done. I noticed that quite a number of you sent your assignment via WhatsApp. It will be better if you drop your assignment at the YouTube comment section. It's right at the bottom of the page. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so we can give you more beautiful content. In the early 90s, the American military came up with an acronym, VUCA, that seemed to describe the situation that the world is in right now. What is the full meaning of VUCA? V stands for volatility, U for uncertainty, C for complexity, and A for ambiguity. What is the implication of this to you and to me? Right now, you'll notice that quite a number of people are confused as to what will happen at the end of COVID-19, talking about at the end of the lockdown. There had been a drop in the price of oil, particularly for our own nation. What are you looking at? It's obvious that a lot of things will happen and you will have to make decisions. But to ensure that you make the right decision, you need to get a hang of emotional intelligence. And that is why in this video today, we are going to be talking about emotional hijack and emotional labeling. Remember that while discussing what emotional intelligence is, it was mentioned that it is your ability to regulate your mood and keep distress from swamping your ability to think. In the situation where we found ourselves right now, you have to make decisions. So, emotional hijack is when a person has allowed distress to swamp his ability to think. Talking about emotional hijack, it does not necessarily mean that it's going to be something completely negative. Sometimes it could be something positive that has given birth to emotional hijack. On a lighter note, think about it. A friend of yours that you have not seen in a long time, maybe that's happened to you before, somebody that you have not seen in a long time, and this person suddenly walks in and you rush without waiting to check whether you have your slippers on or anything, and then you step on a broken bottle. It's simply because your emotion, joy, excitement, has taken over you to the extent that you did not give yourself the opportunity to think through that action. I know of a real life case of a man who was given a brand new car by the government several years ago. He was so excited about the car, he got behind the steering and drove off. He never made it to his destination. He had an accident. That was a case of emotional hijack. We'll be talking about the different kinds of emotions, the names that you can call them. But don't rush into saying, oh, this is a negative emotion, this is a positive emotion. Whether positive or negative, you can actually suffer emotional hijack if you do not pay attention. Some hijacks can be mild. Others may result in horrific incidences. But generally, let's look at it. What are the kind of hijack that people may be experiencing at a time like this? You may see somebody who is rushing to take loans without thinking about it. Oh, we have a problem here. I need a loan, I need a loan, I need a loan. They don't think through. What do I need? How do I pay back this loan? They just know that they need a loan and then they go for it. There are people who right now, they are rushing to diversify. Oh, we can see that after COVID-19 or during this process, what is going to be needed is food. So I need to get into agriculture, and they are busy diversifying, taking loans to get a plot of land to start a business. At the end of the day, they don't have a business plan. They have gone into that business simply because of their emotion. I even heard of some people who went to take chloroquine simply because they don't want to die. They are yet to have the infection. They are yet to contract the virus. They're already treating themselves. They took chloroquine and they ended up poisoning themselves. So what am I trying to say to you? At a time like this, you need to give yourself the opportunity to think through. Don't jump because people are saying something. Don't jump because you have seen something. Don't go into decisions without taking time to think through. Now, what is the hallmark of hijack? The hallmark of hijack is at the end of the day, the person will feel regrets. The first person will feel lost. So you want to be very careful. Remember that as human beings, our decisions are highly influenced by our emotions. So you need to pay extra attention to your emotions so that you do not suffer from emotional hijack. I need you to know that our brains are wired to make us emotional beings. Our primary feelings are strong motivators of behavior. That is why I don't want you to miss that session on building your emotional dashboard. You need to be able to track what emotion is it that you are feeling at a particular point in time. So taking it from my best author when it comes to emotional intelligence, that's talking about Daniel Goleman. Emotional hijack occurs in an instance when emotional explosion, a high reaction is triggered in a person at a crucial moment, even before the brain start processing the information at all. The brain is yet to get a full grasp of what is happening, let alone make a good decision. So emotional hijack will just occur. So it's very important for you to give yourself the opportunity to think through. There have been several cases of women, let's say a mother who has a little child, a child of like 2 years old, and the child falls down. You suddenly see the mother slapping the child, and you are wondering, why would this woman be beating a 2-year-old? Simply because the child fell down. That's an example of emotional hijack. Working remotely does not prevent emotional hijack if you are not in control of your emotions. You can send something to a colleague and the person has not seen it. You have the opportunity of discussing with the person on the phone and you find yourself shouting at the other person. That's an example of emotional hijack. So you need to be somebody who understands your emotion so that you can manage your emotions and manage the emotions of the other person. All right, so let's talk about labeling emotions or emotional labeling. This is the process of putting a name to the emotion that a person is experiencing at a particular point in time, identifying the behaviors and the signs that go with it. The importance of labeling emotion is for you to be able to reduce cases of emotional hijack and taking decisions without thinking through. When you talk about labeling emotions, you are looking at a situation where when a person is feeling anger, he is able to say indeed that this is anger that I'm feeling. He is able to identify the behaviors that are attached to him anytime he feels anger. So for instance, a person starts experiencing anger and starts shouting. So shouting is the behavior that is attached to that anger for him. And then he is able to track the signs. So for some people, when they feel anger, their heartbeat doubles up. Whereas in some other people, a person may actually feel anger and the behavior that will follow could be shedding tears. And the signs could just be, the guy shaking. So for each person, you must be able to label the emotion You must be able to identify the behavior that is going with it, and you must be able to pick on the signs. Now, labeling emotion is quite close to what you have on your phone, or what an app that some of us may have on our phones. You know the app Truecaller? Emotional labeling is like that app. You know, when somebody calls you and you have Truecaller on your phone, you'll be able to identify who is calling so that you can decide whether you want to pick the call or not. If you feel like picking the call, you find out that you will be able to think through what you want to say to that person before picking the call. So if you go for your emotional labeling, what will happen is that the sign will tell you ahead what emotion is coming your way. And so you will decide whether you want to pick it or not. The essence of emotional intelligence is for you to use your emotion to your advantage and to the advantage of the people around you. If your emotion is going to be working against you, there is no point encouraging that emotion. And that is why we keep talking about you understanding your emotions, understanding the emotion of the people around you, being able to manage your emotions and manage the emotions of the people around you. According to Paul Ekman and Edward Watson, we have 5 to 6 primary emotions, but each of these emotions can give several secondary emotions, or what we call related emotions. So it's very important for you to understand what are these primary emotions and what are the related emotions that can generate, what are the behaviors that are attached to this emotion, and what are the signs. So I'm going to give you the general ones, okay? But most importantly, you must sit down and study yourself. All right, there was something that was introduced to us by a man called Peter Drucker in his article, Managing Oneself, talking about what we call the feedback analysis. Unlike several other skills that people develop, building your emotional intelligence has a lot to do with studying yourself over a period of time. So you want to do a feedback analysis on yourself. What am I trying to say? You want to look at the list that I will be giving you right now, and then you want to sit down and study yourself and see, do you have contrary behaviors or different behaviors to what we have here? Do you have different signs? So for some people, when they are happy, they start shedding tears. For some people, when they are happy, they talk too much. So you want to know what is your own. So quickly, let's walk through this primary emotions and then look at the associated or related emotions. So what are the primary emotions? We have fear, anger, love, sadness, happiness, and jealousy. So quickly, let's look at each one. Anger, we have the following related emotions. You have enraged, frustration, irritation. You can be mad. What are the possible behaviors? You have arguing, blaming, clenching of fists, shouting, stammering, verbal insult, physical abuse, harsh tone. What are the signs? You can have feeling heat or hot, increased heart rate, trembling, staring, and you can add yours. Let's quickly look at fear. Associated emotions, you have anxiety, dread, nervousness, scared, stress, worry. Let's look at behavior. Avoidance, crying, not concentrating, denial, tensed up, nail biting, irritability, pacing, going up and down. Let's look at signs. Headache, digestive disorder, raising heart, shortness of breath, sweating, trembling, sleeplessness, bad dreams. Let's quickly look at happiness, related emotions, cheerfulness, contentment, excitement, joyful, pleased, satisfied. Behavior, creative thinking, speaking confidently, sociable, expressive, motivated, optimistic. Signs, laughing, smiling, active, welcoming, playful, sometimes talking too much. Jealousy, related emotions, envy, bitterness, contempt, being spiteful. Behavior, distrust, being possessive, controlling, feeling inadequate, constant bickering, secretive, monitoring movements, gossiping. Signs, negative thinking, red eye, increase in heart rate, hatred, boastfulness, cross legs, copycat, talking negative of others, malicious feeling, being competitive. All right, so let's look at the last one, that is love. Love, related emotions, warmth, fondness, liking, tenderness, empathy, compassion. Behavior, giving, euphoria, increased energy, concern, tolerance, paying extra attention, good behavior. Signs, peace, despair, panic, accelerated breathing, bodily sensation. Now, for all these behaviors and signs that I've mentioned here, please remember that they are not exhaustive. My expectation is that each one of you will sit down, analyze yourself. When you have a particular experience, a particular emotion, you are able to track what are the signs that I experience when this emotion is coming up. All right. Now that you understand what labeling emotion means, you can use EBSSP to work on yourself. E stands for emotions name. B, behavior. What do you think the first S is standing for? I'm sure you can guess. Sign. The second S is standing for source. What is the source of that emotion? What is generating it? Where is it coming from? And the last one is talking about preferred behavior. We'll be talking more about this when we get to our class on building your emotional dashboard. Don't forget, you don't want to miss that class. Because once you get a hang of how to build it yourself, you can walk through the situation, whatever situation you find yourself, whenever you feel like it, you can build something unique for yourself that you can work with. So, in this video, we have looked at the fact that we are emotional beings, our decisions are being influenced by our feelings. So you want to pay a little more attention to your feelings. We've talked about emotional hijack, the fact that anything can happen if you are not paying attention to your emotion. You don't want to make drastic decisions that will affect you negatively. And we've also talked about labeling emotions. In the next video, we are going to be looking at working with emotional intelligence conceptual model. Now, I'm going to give you your assignment. Use the EBSSP model to label any of the underlisted emotions as it relates to you. Anxiety, satisfied, envy, confusion. For example, if I'm going to work on confusion, confusion is the E. That's the name of the emotion. B, talking about the behavior. When I'm confused, I shut down or withdraw. Sign, what are the signs that I've noticed? Difficulty in listening. I find difficult to listen to people when I'm confused. Source. Usually, I have technology as the source. Preferred behavior. Ask questions from experts or people who are more knowledgeable than myself. Please leave your answers in the comment section at the bottom of the YouTube page. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video. See you in the next video. Stay safe.